Well, I mean, I don't know what he said, really.
Exactly. It's not what he said that I'm thinking about.
Just hatred. Generic.
Why do college Republicans love Milo, the bigot, and his hatred? What does the other side say?
Oops.
Simple. They're rich white kids who lack kindness.
Isn't any mystery.
So
They're rich. Everybody comes to this place.
So do you think is it the richness or the whiteness that makes people lack kindness?
The the lack of kindness. There are lots of rich white people.
Sure.
I don't mind that.
Wait,
I have pretensions myself.
Do you have like a specific quote on why he's a bigot?
Let me see. Just having seen him on the video single out a transgender kid from the audience and abuser.
He's an abuser.
Yeah, abuser. Just not physically, of course. Okay, hold on. It's important.
No, it's not important.
Sure it is. Hey, you got missed the other side.
You should come to the event.
I will.
Oh, what's the other side?
This one.
Oh. Okay, that's pretty racist, man.
No, it's not racist. No,
it's not racist when
I
I
seen
do
the
it.
picture. You guys are all white. Jesus.
What's wrong with
What's
that?
the mystery?
Pero soy
Nothing.
latino, pinche cabrón.
Nothing. What's the harm? Is they're unkind?
Who cares about kindness?
That's a good question. That's a separate issue.
Did you turn it around? Yeah, Kelly.
Okay,
Yeah, let's see.
but that's a separate issue. Who cares about kindness? Good question. Mr. Trump went to church this morning. Was it a Muslim church? Not hardly. It was Christian. Does Jesus care about kindness? Excuse me? How do you spell hypocrisy? Are you going to make America a better speller?
Reaching hatred.
What?
A way to be hatred.
How do you spell hypocrisy? Yeah.
What does
Or
Donald Trump have to do?
TRMP.
You have a sign about Milo. What does that do
What?
with Donald Trump?
Nothing. I was just saying, she wanted to
No,
know
because he's running back.
who cares about kindness, and I told her.
So
Jesus cares about kindness.
here's a.
Yeah.
I don't really care for Jesus.
Well, that's a separate issue.
No, well, no. If you bring it into this issue, it is not a separate issue.
Say that again, please.
If you bring it into this issue, it's not a separate issue.
It was brought in. Somebody asked me, who
Okay,
cares
so-
about kindness?
Hold on.
Somebody
So then
asked
why
me,
would you bring it
who
into the
cares about
conversation?
kindness? Somebody
So
asked
why
me,
bring it into this
who
conversation?
cares
Why are you
about
bringing-
kindness?
Why are you bringing religion?
Excuse me.
into
Somebody
politics?
asked me, who cares about
So why
kindness?
bring religion
So I
into
answered
politics,
it.
sir?
I answered it. Jesus cares about
Why are you
kindness.
bringing religion?
Because she asked me. What's the mystery? What's the mystery?
Like, I
I'm
don't
also
agree with what
talking
he's
to
saying.
him.
Yeah.
I was listening to the conversation.
I am listening. So.
But I wasn't
Anyway.
lying, was I? I wasn't
Okay,
lying.
so you're bringing religion into politics.
No, she
which
brought it
is
in.
something you answered the question, did you
Yes.
not? So you
Well,
answered the
I'm
question. Did you
civil.
answer the question with a
Unlike
religious
Mr. Trump, I
answer?
answer all civil questions.
Did you answer the
Yes.
question with a religious answer? Yes
She
or
brought
no?
it in and
Who
I
cares?
Yes or no?
Yes,
Why does that
of course.
matter?
So then why did you bring it into politics?
I didn't. She did.
Religion has no place in politics.
Oh, jeez.
Tell me,
And secondly, on top of that
Tell
too,
me-
why are you generalizing that all the college Republicans don't care for
No, I
kindness?
didn't say all.
Yeah, you do.
You don't have to say.
college
No,
students
it's coming. It's coming. You don't have to say all to be general.
Yes, you do.
No, you don't.
You are you're quite frankly saying that any kind of college Republican does
No,
not
I
care
didn't
for
say
kindness.
that. I
Mine
said
says
they
so.
lack kindness. And they lack
So
kindness
if you-
because of their decision to invite
So,
Mr.
but you're nonetheless
Milo.
you're still
The
generalizing.
discussion's over.
You're still generalizing.
Yes.
Why?
I'm a Republican.
Because I only got such a big sign. That's why it's only so big.
That doesn't
You know, I
have
can't
to do
put
with anything. The
I
sign
can't
size
put
doesn't matter.
statistics up
You can have a
there.
tiny little piece of paper that says so.
What can I say? I can't put this.
You could say that you're
What?
What you can do is not generalize everyone in the same category, which you are doing.
Yep.
And they're, yeah, and
That's what generalization means.
So why are you generalizing?
Why not?
Because you're saying that everyone is unkind.
Are you that thick? Are you that fucking thick? You can't understand
Yes.
that? Okay.
No. Just make America great again.
I think
Oh,
it's
hey,
fun, though, because,
here's
like,
the non-white. Good for you guys.
You're fucking.
You're not very bright, but you're
my God.
very non-white. Good.
one side says like
I'm
you're
all
bigot,
for-
and the
okay.
other side you're like saying all white people.
No, I didn't say that.
So, well, no. Like
Okay,
you're
so
saying,
turn it
lack
around. Turn it around.
kindness.
I'll read this out to you.
lack
I'll read
like
this
you're
out.
saying white kids.
So
Yeah.
it says,
Saying, like, don't be a
why do
bigot.
college Republicans love Milo the bigot and his hatred? Now turn it back
Because they
around.
lack
Now turn it back around.
kindness.
Turn it back around.
Okay, here it comes. You all set? They lack kindness.
Simple. They're rich
Now,
white
what's the
kids
mystery?
who lack kindness.
Everybody here is rich. For Christ's sake, look
No, we're
around
not.
you. Of course you are. Relatively
Wow,
speaking, relatively speaking,
Remarkably
especially.
generalizing.
And I'm
Holy
sure.
shit.
Are you going to have student debt when you graduate?
Sorry? No, because I don't go
Of
here.
course not.
No, because I go to community college.
Wealthy people don't have student
Community college hooks it up pretty well. Community college hooks it up with grants and whatnot, and the tuition's cheaper. So
I had a kid.
Okay.
I had a kid. She went
How
to.
do you know my history?
No.
So how can you say that I'm rich?
I could say generalizing.
No,
Everybody here is rich.
You said everyone here is
This
rich.
is a subset
Everybody
of-
here consists of
This
me
is
as
a
well.
subset of
But why are you
the
generalizing if
You guys are making a straw man against him. Come on,
like it
come
sounds
on.
like
You're saying that his
says,
argument
did you
relies
ever
on you guys being
white
rich.
Republicans are
Yeah.
bigots and haters?
So then we're not strawman.
What?
We're not strawman.
Come on, you're saying his argument only relies on that statement.
Yeah, it's
His
kind of.
argument relies on the fact that he's generalizing.
You know
when
what
you
is
shouldn't
going to be the
generalize at
harm?
all.
The harm for the college Republicans is going to be if this resonates with people. Because in one fashion, it will be telling them what they already know. That's
And what
resonance.
is that?
That subset of America attending a public college like this is wealthy.
So
Relative.
But this isn't,
Everything's relative.
of course not everything goes.
Yeah.
But you're still generalizing. That's
Yes,
the
of
issue.
course.
So why?
The harmful part is the unkind, and that's not generalization. They had to be unkind,
It is.
otherwise they wouldn't have invited
It
it.
is.
No, it's not.
why do you think? Well, so what are some of the things that Milo said that you've taken issue with?
Well, is transgender. I have people in my family who struggle with this issue. It is. They are said to be on the spectrum. Now they're on a spectrum in the end that Milo didn't like. So what I'm saying.
Yeah, he's had choice words about trans people. I've noticed.
Exactly so. Now, it's unkind if you attack the most defenseless people among us. That's unkind. And so
There's more what he's talking about. Like that's why he would argue that Milo's unkind. I don't really understand the rich white people. Therefore, you have no
well,
kindness
that
thing
is
though.
Because you are.
Have you met all the college Republicans?
No,
They're all white kids.
I just see the picture and they're all white. I didn't see them in the picture.
We have to ask why.
Although, you know, they're not black either. So I'd have to talk to them. I'd love to talk to them. Yeah.
Who did you vote for?
I voted for Clinton.
So
By the
what do you
way,
think about her calling black people super predators?
This is interesting. You know, was that the part about the compartment? What did she say? A parcel or something like that?
No,
Said,
she
like,
just
super predators. We have to bring them
Yeah,
down.
yeah. You know, the harm is there, and I'm going to tell you as a fellow countryman, the harm there is that the majority of voters in the country have now no 0.0 representation in the executive branch. The majority of voters in the country have no representation. What does that mean in a democracy? Is it good or bad for a democracy?
Well, I mean, we're not.
You didn't answer the question.
We're not an entire democracy.
Are you
didn't
saying that
answer the
democracy is
question.
bad?
For a democracy.
Is it
Are
good
you
or
saying
bad?
you
Democracy.
disagree with that this is a lot of democracy? Is that what you're saying right now? That's what I'm hearing. You're saying I hate democracy.
No,
You're saying democracy doesn't
No,
work.
I don't think they said that, but they
I
didn't
just
answer
said
the
it's bad
question
for a
either.
democracy, but we're not
My
a democracy.
question is,
I'm using the same straw man against you as you're using against him.
No, you're not.
you know,
Yes, I am.
but these
We
are
could
good
no
guys.
because
You were
you're putting
picking a single part of his argument.
you are no.
And using it against everything he
No,
said.
because you are putting words in our mouth.
to talk with.
What you were doing is
I'm
putting words in our
serious.
mouth.
You
We
said
never
this is
want. We never
Is that
once
good for
said
democracy
that democracy
or
is
bad?
bad. We
Well,
never
the
once
majority-
said.
I think they just said as a matter of fact we don't live in a
We do
full-on.
not live in a democracy.
Like a
Are
full-on.
you implying that's a good
It's
thing?
bad for democracy.
Very
but
bad.
we're not
Why?
We're not a
That's
democracy.
Okay, why do you
maybe
support
we
democracy?
should
Why
stop
do you
lecturing
support democracy?
every continent
Sorry?
on how
Why do you
valuable
support
democracy
democracy?
Because it allows
I mean,
everyone
I
to be
think
heard.
it's fun.
Okay.
That's part of why I
The
like
majority of
Trump.
Americans are Democrats.
We should stop.
Okay, Democrats and democracy are
Yeah,
different.
you're.
We're a republic. democracy.
I'm not saying that. I'm saying the
fearing
majority of
for my
Americans
country.
in the United
You know,
States, the majority of people in the United
say
States
in this country.
are dead members, would be members of the Democratic community.
Without-
Correct.
Okay.
Without
Is democracy good?
no.
Yes.
Why?
If it's
The
not proper.
majority of the country has no representation.
So you're
There has
saying
been no country in
you're
the
saying that
world.
our country should be
Oh, you're very
the
funny. Thank you.
you are arguing
No, I
that
don't make a nickel.
your party
I do want to
should be
stay
taken
home
out
and
of
watch
power.
football.
That's what you're saying.
Could you repeat that
Because
one more time?
democracy,
That's why.
Could you repeat that one more time? Sorry, your voice is muffled.
you are
very
saying
kind.
that democracy is
What's your major?
that because if it was
I'm not
good,
saying democracy is bad.
then why is your party good?
Are you assuming my party?
You're attacking a guy that says that.
I'm not Republican. I'm not Democrat. I'm neutral. Because I'm logical.
Okay, why are you in the
Probably.
Sorry?
Yeah.
Why are you in
it was
between?
your
Why are you
cohorts
neither
there,
a Republican nor a Democrat?
Because I see no
Trump, did they
reason
not?
why I shouldn't be in the
I'm
middle.
not making that up.
Why
I
is
think
the
that
middle
there,
better?
I think
You
that
should
there
know.
should be
Pay attention.
a good mixture between having both ideals in your mind and consider what you need for yourself
It's a
personally,
rumor from.
and then from there broaden the scope to a much wider lens. I don't see why I have to be delegated to a left or
But
right
it's
view,
a good question.
and why not be in the middle where I have the ability
What
to
is,
change my stance at any given time.
What's in the future of our country?
Or if I don't want to change my stance either, I can look at both sides and choose. Oh well, I support this person.
So it's
Just
like
because
it's
I
like avoiding
support-
tribalism, you mean, kind of thing?
Yes.
Is that what you mean?
Yes. Instead of
can see where you come from.
instead of me going from instead of me dead set. Oh, well, I'm a Democrat, so therefore I must support Hillary.
Okay, I think that's a smart
Or
point.
instead of, and then likewise with Republicans, I have to support Trump. I don't accept that. I don't like the fact that because I am this, I must do this.
So why are you criticizing him for saying that majority of Republicans are rich white men, which is a true statement?
It's not.
But if it's tying a lack of kindness into being white and rich.
Why is that not true?
How do you know that that's true all over or across the?
Wait.
Well, no, you're claiming that it is, so you
Claiming
gotta
that
show that it
Being
is.
a rich white person means that they're unkind.
I think that does in fact make you unkind.
So how does being white make you unkind?
It is because of the privilege that you have growing up as a
What
white
privilege
person.
do we have?
So being like, if I'm privileged, then I can't have kindness or as much kindness. Or?
Are we not therefore allowed to be kind?
You can be kind.
Are we allowed to be kind? If we're white, are we allowed to be kind?
I don't understand your question.
But you
That's what you're saying. If you're saying we're white, we can be kind, but we're not allowed to be.
Okay, he only has so much space on
No,
his
no, 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 no. Don't go back to him. Answer the question I'm directing at you.
You're asking me if white people are allowed to be kind.
Yes, I'm asking you. I'm not asking you to look at his sign and then go back to him. I'm asking you to answer yourself personally.
I think white people have the ability to be kind,
But are they allowed to be kind? Yes or no?
Are they allowed to be kind?
Yes.
What did I just say?
You're not answering the
I
question.
said white
You're
people
you're
can
falling
learn
you're
to be
falling
kind.
back to the symbol. Well,
He's saying
they can't be kind.
He's saying that white people have to unlearn their privilege, basically.
Okay.
So we have white male privilege that needs to be unlearned at university, I guess, and then from there only then
But the
can
thing
you be
is, though, you
kind.
can't change the fact that you're white.
Okay.
So therefore,
But
you're
you can
saying-
unlearn the privilege that you have. You can learn to understand or live with the privilege
Okay,
that
so
you have.
here's another question. Why is it that? So you support the fact that white should be secondary?
What signs do you got?
What does that mean?
You believe that they should be second class? That they should? Yes, because you're saying.
Okay. You know what?
I am saying that whites inherently have a privilege that is a step above.
Did you also know that there's a pretty good percentage of white people who actually are either
reason we
homeless or
should
living in
talk
lower class homes?
Is you have invested
Okay.
your time.
Especially if you go farther south.
Statistics show that white people are more likely to be hired for jobs than any other ethnic class.
You're out here.
How do you respond to
Why
that?
not get a decent sign?
Sorry, say that one more time.
White people have a higher
I was planning to go
have a
downtown,
higher
but also I didn't have the time to
White people are more likely to be hired for the same job as any other minority, or as any minority.
Oh, no.
How do you respond to that? Statistics by hand, but I'm sure that's correct.
I don't know
You're
how.
sure that's correct?
I am 100% certain that is correct.
Who did you vote for in the second?
I voted for Lariva.
I don't know.
Lariva. Gloria Lariva.
Hi.
I went for Jill Stein myself, but I don't know.
It always has.
Thrill Stein.
No.
Yeah, I don't know about this sign though. It's kind of divisive. I
I'm just
don't know.
confused. Like, you're holding that sign and you're here.
Well, he's an interested party. Yeah.
I'm trying to help
So,
defend him.
do you have an immune system get challenged? Or I see that you're very high.
Oh no, I'm just aware that Republicans are known for taking pictures of people.
Oh,
and then
geez,
using
really?
private-
Hey, let me ask you this.
Private
That's a good segue to this. Did you hear about how the organizer of the event got doxxed? Like the organizer
What does
of.
that mean?
They took the organizer who set up the Milo event, name, phone number, and email, and posted it all over on.
Oh, geez.
And they did the same thing to her father.
Because it's no longer.
People who actually cover their faces, like this gentleman,
Room
the
106 up here,
Antifa,
or
did
whatever
that.
the hell it is.
What's that? You guys didn't know about this?
No, I heard about Jesse
No, this-
Gamble.
Yeah, that's her name. Yeah.
College Republicans.
I don't know if
Right
he's
that building
Antifa.
there.
That's what I'm saying.
106 or
Are you Antifa?
No.
But they were saying that Republicans go around like showing pictures.
I'm just a freshman. I don't know what's going on.
Come on, you have that look of authority. I believe anything you say.
Well, I mean, I'm 19, and I'm not sure if anything I say is worth a damn.
Where's your family from? What?
So they have no response to the doxing thing.
No. I mean, let's step over here.
Jesse Gamble,
Okay.
you ever heard about her? She got
Milo's
doxxed.
history of doxing other people, right?
No,
Milo.
there's no evidence of him doing that. And I disagree with his politics and everything, but I don't think there's evidence of him personally doxing
But he
people.
has his people dox people for him. The alt-right community backs him in doxing other people. There's proof of that happening.
I don't have to see
You mean like
proof.
going after people on Twitter or like releasing people's private information? I don't think he's releasing private information.
I haven't seen evidence of.
I've seen him like call out people on Twitter and stuff.
I've seen him make
Like,
fun of people on
famous
Twitter.
people and stuff.
He
Yeah.
calls them out, and then his minions.
You talking about Leslie Jones?
Yes.
Yeah, but she's like a famous person who's already like in the. Everybody knows who.
Does
like,
that give him the right to release her personal address and phone number?
He didn't do
But his
that.
supporters did that.
No, they.
Well, I mean, he can't really. Like,
That didn't. I don't think that part occurred either.
No, his supporters didn't do that.
They like his supporters dox Leslie Jones. I don't.
How did her information get out if his supporters did not dox her?
I don't think her information did get out. They made fun of her really bad.
Just like the head of Republicans.
Okay.
Like she doesn't need her father to get called and stuff like that. I mean, so it's like
It's a
kinda
tactic.
Let's start with the Leslie Jones thing, yeah?
Yeah. What do you think about that?
Do you blame Beyonce for Taylor Swift's fans giving Beyonce death threats? Or is it just people you don't agree with?
I'm not as aware of the situation.
People's fans do shitty things all the time. I don't even necessarily agree with Milo, but I believe actual free speech, not this bullshit that society's perpetuating that if you have the wrong opinion, you can't talk.
Why?
Milo, he called her ugly. I mean, to be fair, people are allowed to do that. He's an asshole. Everyone can agree on that.
Yeah.
He even went out and said that what people who claim to be his fans, what they said to Leslie, he said it was awful. He did not condone it. He didn't ask anyone to do it. It's no different than when, like,
So are you okay with speech are you okay with speakers that go out and say, go commit violence against a specific target of people?
no, I'm not.
Well, he's
Milo
never
doesn't
called
do
for
that.
violence. No, he's
Give me-
not called for violence.
Yes, he has.
No,
Yes, he has.
Yeah,
Time
like,
and again. He has called against violence time and time again. I can cite this.
he's like made fun of you. I haven't seen him.
No,
call for
he
violence.
has called for violence against.
Can you give me one example?
He has done this at actually the rally, the same rally.
Because I've watched like 4 of the rally videos from this specific tour, and that has not happened. He's been there's people who jumped on stage, try to hit him. He makes out-of-taste jokes, but at the end of the day, they're jokes. He's just getting a rise out of people, and he has an opinion.
He's making jokes that are putting people at risk of physical
He made
danger.
jokes about sucking cock.
Okay.
Can you give me an example of a time he actually said something
Like,
that
what's
called
the
violence?
example of where he like called for violence?
Well,
like,
there
look
was
it up to
a
verify.
transgender woman in his audience.
Why not?
and he said,
You're in a public place, so.
this person is transgender.
Was she like protesting? I mean, is that like?
No, she was actually
It's not like a project, it was just
kindly participating in his audience. One of
Oh, she's protesting.
No, she's not protesting. She's gonna post it on an audience member. And he said, "Look at this transgender female
not sure.
at University of Wisconsin." And then, of course, his
Really with
fan
anyone, or
club
you just
came
here by yourself?
and
second one.
her. And then she was forced to leave the university.
Oh no, you were talking about the instance where the trans person wanted into the locker room.
At Milwaukee,
No, not at all. There was a transgender woman that went into the theater. She was in the theater, and Milo stood there and he said, "Look at that transgender woman right there. Isn't she disgusting?"
That's not true, actually.
Can you-
he
can you
here's
find that?
he put her picture up. He didn't know she was in the audience. I'm from Milwaukee, actually. I was at that. I filmed for that. But he did put her face and name up on the screen, which I thought was pretty messed up.
And I
But he
think-
didn't say like you there in the audience.
That
Like
then led to her having to leave the university.
I think she had already
that
left. She already left at that. Well, that's
Is that
neither here nor
just?
there.
Is it just to put someone's face up, and that is a known transgender woman?
It makes him a dick.
Yeah, I think everyone could agree that he's a
Then
complete
why
twat.
is then he's thus condoning violence?
That's not condoning
No,
violence.
he's allowing it to happen.
So how is that any different than any other celebrity?
So what with Jess?
Beyonce knows that her fans give death threats. Selena Gomez's fans give
Because
threats
he-
to Justin Bieber.
Because he is a known white supremacist.
He's not a white supremacist.
He is.
People throw their word around like it means nothing.
Okay, so the Wisconsin thing, it was a transgender person who went into a woman's bathroom. That's what I'm reading about. I'm reading it on, right here.
I think he just looks like an
Transgender
overblown frat bro with really horrible hair.
He's just
And there's
this
a big
British gay dude who likes to get a rise out of
So they
people
were
because he knows
already
he
out of the
can.
I know, well, he's
Yeah.
of Greek descent because his last name is Yana.
Yiannopoulos.
Something or other.
Yiannopoulos, yeah.
I cannot.
So it's not like
It's the second part that gets me. P-O-U-L-O-S. How the fuck do you pronounce that? I mean, no disrespect to the Greeks who right now are like, it's a pretty deep.
But I mean, it's like, I don't know, you're making it
In a
seem
pretty
like he
deep
just
mess,
pointed
but
at her out of
still.
no reason, and then,
It wasn't out of no reason.
like, she was already in the news and stuff, and then he just like shared that. What? Yeah, she was.
She was in the news she was protesting with the student group coalition against the ultra right. Like again, I'm from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Like,
But
Yeah.
it led to her having to leave the school.
I think she had already left, but she wrote a huge like letter to the chancellor. I think.
Do you think he
And
has
then-
the right to talk about that? If there's a story about a student, a transgender student who goes into like a bathroom of like their changed gender, and then there's a story about it, do you think he's allowed to put that up on the screen and talk about it? Isn't that his right? Like,
No, because
Why not?
it has a potential of inciting violence.
so there's like a story about Donald Trump. Can you use it?
Jesse Gamble was doxxed though by the far leftist
Oh, here, yeah.
people.
She was
Yeah,
the.
and her father too. What do you think
Yeah.
about that?
He's not allowed to
It's
like.
unbelievably hypocritical because if the Dems do it, it's funny. I'm actually moderate. I lean left, but because I have, I see that it's hypocritical.
I'm kind of with you
Yeah,
actually.
everyone's like, "Oh, you're a conservative bigot." I'm
No,
not.
it's like no, I'm not. I never
Like, I'm a
voted.
bisexual liberal. Like,
I've
what
never
are you
voted
talking about?
Republican ever in my life, so
I'm just so tired
Gave it
of
some more attention. I don't think
how
he,
if you have
he didn't
a
start
differing
this.
opinion now,
The
it's
person already
automatically
came out
wrong.
as transgender. It's not like he just.
well, you're supporting a white supremacist.
It's like, I
I'm
think he has
supporting
the
free
right to
speech.
talk about it.
Yeah, I'm just
He's
playing.
already in the news.
But he is
He does have the right to come here and talk.
Yeah, and he's not being paid. He doesn't. The university has nothing to do with it. It's a private student group. I just you totally have the right to not want him here, but do you think he shouldn't be allowed?
Yes, I think he is a safety threat to our community.
It's funny because in almost every single time he goes to speak, the only people who end up getting threatened or hurt is him or his supporters.
That's because he is a threat to the people that
So
are hurting his
so it's
safety.
okay to attack him if you
It is-
think he might do something.
Okay, let me ask you a question instead of that. If you saw a Nazi walking down the street with a salute and you knew he was going to go kick someone's face in later, would you be okay with them continuing to like say, "I hate Jewish people"?
Nothing even remotely comparable is happening.
It's not.
I mean, they have the right to say that,
but no,
if they're
look-
actually going to do violence, then.
No, but
But Milo hasn't like like
But
committed
my-
violence
okay,
or insinuated.
okay.
I don't even think he's incited violence.
Hitler never, after World War I, he never committed an act of violence against another member.
Well, he advocated.
He advocated for violence. He
But
never
Milo hasn't done that though.
Because now if you're
Well, his politics really suck, but I don't
so
think
you
he's
don't
actually.
agree with him, so he's comparable to Hitler. Like you realize how insensitive and just disgusting that is,
If
right?
you can find me something where he's publicly or privately like advocating for violence,
Like you're just taking
Then
what
I'll
Hitler
say you have
did
a
and
point.
diminishing it to nothing.
That's funny. I'm not diminishing it to nothing.
Yes, you are. You're comparing a man who gets up, says some shitty jokes, has an opinion that some people agree with,
Do you know-
and that's equal to a man who killed millions of people.
Before he killed millions of people, that's what Hitler did. He was a party leader, he was an instigator, and he was an attacker. Before he was Hitler, before he had the genocide, he was Milo.
I mean, there's a lot of people like it. They have the right to do that until they start doing all the other.
It's such a far-fetched example. Like if you could actually give me, if you could give me an example where he actually incited real violence or actually told people, hey, go kill these people, go beat them up, then maybe I could see where you're coming from.
But he's keeping a very he's purposely keeping an arm's length distance.
Or maybe he just doesn't agree with what you think.
Then why would he continue to do the things when he knows that it incites violence?
Have you watched any of his speeches? Have you listened to them?
Okay, who are you accusing of inciting violence right now?
Milo.
Milo. Okay, I don't.
He had some,
I don't know.
say something like person in
I haven't watched any of his speeches. I've never heard of someone cite a specific case of that happening.
Because they can't.
I have a list of cases that
Then give me.
Google it.
I have. When I first heard about him, I thought he
But you
was
said you
the-
have the list. I mean,
And then
but we have to Google it. Like, where's the list?
okay, I'll Google it.
Okay. Google.
By the way,
Guggen.
peaceful people usually don't have to cover their faces up.
No, that's fair. People are recording. If he doesn't want people to see him, that's his right.
Okay.
Like,
Okay.
that's completely fair. Because people do docs. Like, it's shitty.
Like
and
Antifa
it happens
does.
on both sides.
They did to Jesse Gamble, I believe, the organizer. They doxed her.
That's not a good move.
What do you mean?
Doxing people, like, okay,
Yeah,
yes, I don't like.
There's no one else who can actually.
What?
I do not agree with Milo, but I really don't think you should be doing that, doxing people.
It wasn't. Yeah, it was.
It was like a poster that says, "You know the
Yeah, it
racist
was-
Nazi bigot in your class," and it
They
gave her
posted it all around campus.
father's number and stuff
Yeah.
too. It was really
So,
like.
is being a racist Nazi bigot okay as long as you're not inciting violence?
No, that
Are,
person's not.
you haven't
You know what?
you haven't
As shitty
proven
as
that
it
she is that,
it's
or her father is
It's
that.
America. You can believe whatever the fuck you want. If he actually goes out and becomes violent,
It's okay to be a racist.
it's not okay.
You
but
know what
that's
their
the
proof
whole
was
point
for
of this
that? It
country.
was that she
People
liked
should be
the
able to
post
say
where they
what they
used the
want when they
Jewish
want and not
like,
be shot down.
marks or something.
I mean, they should be able to be shot down.
Yeah.
Be semi-truth based.
No, I agree with you. You should be able to back it up, but that's not how the world works.
I mean,
it's not how people
You
work.
can say whatever you want, and yeah, unrational arguments should be shot down, but that's not a prerequisite. You can say what you want.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think communism's okay, but I wouldn't shut down their speech if they want to promote what they believe. I'm just gonna stop them.
And the organizer, I don't think the organizer is a Nazi.
Why not? Why not shut them down? Why would I? Why should you be afraid of a different opinion? If someone's opinion is wrong, then all the more reason to not be afraid of it.
If you look up Milo incites violence, the first things that pop up: LSU 6 ways to stop Milo Yiannopoulos event based on possible incidents of violence because people protesting become violent. Hillary Clinton paid, or it's all of it is about the other side. If he actually was saying go out and do violent things, then I would 100% agree. He should not be allowed to speak. But the fact is, he has really shitty opinions,
Seriously,
and
though,
it's
can you-
fair that you don't like them.
Can you hold on
But
to
the
it
way that
during-
this
skip
country
track
is
of the
supposed to
starting
work,
Milo
people
rallies?
are.
I don't know, man. I got a lot on my plate right now.
What?
Where does that right come
I
from?
wouldn't be doing
That's your First Amendment right.
Why is it? Why is it?
I can't.
because that's just America. That is what we believe.
Are you aware that hate speech has been ruled illegal in this country?
Nope, that's incorrect.
If he was saying I hate black people,
hate speech is not a thing.
Hate speech is an illegal offense.
it is.
No, it isn't. No, it's not.
Yes, there is.
No.
Was it a Supreme Court?
It was a Supreme Court ruling where hate speech is illegal.
Not in the U.S.
What decade was it? I want to look this up.
It was
not true.
50s or 60s.
There's a difference between being an asshole and being in hate speech.
Where does the difference lie?
The difference lies with what you say. Milo uses how mean he is just to basically just show arguments, and people who are just racist just say racist things. I mean, you could say that about Milo, but that doesn't make it true. All that Milo does, he uses what he says as as basically to provoke arguments. And I mean, unless you actually look at what his actual arguments, then you don't know quite what he says.
Hate speech is not a thing in the law.
Yes, it is.
No, it's
not.
not.
A thing in the law. It is a thing that is in the common law. In the judicial.
So if I go around saying I hate group X, that is a crime?
That's not what hate speech is. Hate speech is defined as inciting violence against others.
Well, inciting violence against people is, in fact, if I said go kill this person, that would be illegal. Nobody has done that.
He brings up conversation about things, and he uses provocative
He brings
language.
up conversation about. He brings up conversation to members that are likely to incite violence.
That doesn't make it violence, though. If you talk to someone who does violent things, I mean that it's just that person is the one causing the violence.
So if I go around like let's say I go around making jokes and someone who would do violence hears me and then they go do violence, am I then partially responsible for the? Okay, so if someone hears my jokes and then commits violence later, that's my fault.
You are partially at fault.
That is ridiculous, dude.
Okay. In response to what people have claimed about, I think you said something about a Supreme Court decision.
Yeah.
That decision is called Brandenburg versus Ohio. It was in 1969, and the Supreme Court protected a KKK member's speech and created the imminent danger test to determine on what grounds speech can be limited. Let me pull up the...
Yeah, the ACLU, protected the KKK's right to march,
Well,
even the ACLU did that.
That doesn't mean that they're right. It's just all it means is that they have the right to say what they say, which is what Milo does. He has no... He has the right to say just like anyone else. And
Okay, but remember, there's the imminent danger part of the
Milo's
clause.
not causing any... I mean,
yes, he is. He is causing imminent danger.
He says things, and people take out of context, and then do bad things. That is not just that. It's their fault, not his. If they're the ones causing. If you're actually physically doing it, then it's the thing. It's your fault. But Milo, all he's doing is saying things that people just. I mean, there have been
saying things that then people go and act on.
But there
like
have
who?
Been,
What?
Like the alt-right.
Where's the example of anyone saying, in the name of Milo, I am going to attack this person? Where's the example of that?
From any other cause that has caused, every cause has done something like that. Why is Milo the special case here? Why is he the one that needs to be stopped?
Because he's the one that's coming to my campus.
But that he has the right to do that.
No, he doesn't.
Yes, he does.
He does not have the right to incite violence.
Which he hasn't done.
To speak. That's what he's doing. He is not inciting violence. Him speaking, if he were to tell a bunch of people to go attack someone, that would be inciting violence. What he is doing is he is talking about his political views.
People who are likely to incite violence.
He's not empowering people. He's just presenting his opinion.
He is empowering people.
You could say that about any cause.
He is normalizing attacks against transgender people. He is normalizing attacks against people of color and minorities. He is normalizing things that should not be normal. And in normalization,
Milo purposely provokes people to bring him into the argument, and it's working. The whole point about what he says at face value is to basically bring people in to fight against him because of that. But then they look at the arguments he's actually making and decides they still can decide against him. But I'm just saying. It's not. You can't take everything he says. It's what he says is either provoking for the sake of getting attention, or it's something that is just a joke to spit in the face of political correctness. That's what it is.
Yeah, it's not quite Nazis. I wouldn't go as far as calling them Nazi.
He's not just going around forcing people to murder people. There are horrible people in the world who will do things based on what they believe. But that's not a Milo specific thing. That happens with every religion, every cult, everything that makes someone do things.
So because it's normal for that to happen, is okay for him.
It's not. No, that's
what you just said.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
I think
We still haven't even shown an instance of. There's not
I'm
one.
not saying it's normal. I'm just saying that it's like it's not something specific to Milo, so you can't treat it as something specific to Milo.
It's not even to Milo. Milo hasn't even. He hasn't even done that.
Some concrete example about what you're talking
about. Take what that person says and turn it into what it's not. Like it could be any speaker.
You guys all get along with each other?
Like that's it.
People do hateful things in the name of the Democrats. They do hateful things in the name of feminism. That doesn't mean that inherently is wrong.
Yeah, that's
what that
not.
person said was wrong.
Yeah, it's that person who is the one, because there are crazy people who will go and do violence because of something someone says, but that applies with any cause. So even there's no way to avoid, like, it's bad and it should be frowned upon, because it is frowned upon.
Okay, so
but it's not. But that's not what Milo stands for. Milo doesn't stand for the people who commit violence. Those are just the small people, the small byproduct of what he says, and it's not he doesn't like encourage it. It's not what he wants to happen, and it would happen anyway, whether he discouraged it or not.
Nobody's
And it hasn't. Yeah,
nobody's shown a concrete
It
example.
hasn't come up.
So I don't know why you keep harping on that.
So
Like,
imagine
it hasn't even happened in his name yet.
Imagine I am in a celebrity position similar to Milo, except instead of joking about hurting transgender people and transgender people being not okay, or whatever.
I think he's made jokes. Well, no, he made jokes about how going through with the surgery is hurting yourself.
Okay.
I think that's the joke he's
if
made.
I make jokes about white people.
Oh God, no!
In real life.
Wait, no. Oh, sorry. I thought the line was lining up.
Does that then?
There's not the line to get in.
Come on, it's not very heavy.
No, I don't.
If I go out and say white people should go out and kill white people, or people should go out and harm white people.
He hasn't said
He's not
anything like
saying
that.
that.
If I make jokes about implying that.
It's not, but it's a joke though. That's where you're.
The
drawing line.
jokes he made about.
No. If I continue making jokes and normalize the subject of hurting white people, and then people then go out and say, oh, I guess it's normal.
He hasn't done that.
I guess it's normal to hurt white people.
He made jokes about how the act of
But
getting
why
a.
are you
He made
Milo, because there are actually people. Oh,
he made jokes about how the act of getting the transgender surgery is hurting oneself.
And
those are the jokes he's made about trans people.
And they're just tasteful. No one's gonna frown upon that, but people.
Yeah, and it's not.
He's shitting and he's a huge asshole, but he doesn't tell people to go do things.
Yeah, he doesn't.
When I first heard about him, everyone said he was this disgusting monster, so I assumed he was awful. And then someone that I started seeing was like kind of interested into him, so I was like, all right, I'm gonna look into it and see if it's actually that bad. And so I went in wanting to hate him, but there's really nothing that he's doing that's wrong.
He's telling what he thinks, and that's okay. I mean, as long as he's not. There's a line that you're crossing here between what he's saying as a joke and what because inciting means you're actually going out, telling people to do it, and is expecting that as the outcome. He is not. He is making jokes that could it would take a really, really, really crazy or just an idiot to think that he actually thinks that going out and doing actual violence is the thing. In fact, at every single meeting, that's what he fights violence with facts. That's what he stands for, and that's his whole thing is to disprove people. It's not.
His big thing is he doesn't like the PC culture.
How's this going nowhere?
For the most things.
Yeah.
I mean, he doesn't like that people are
saying a lot of the same things keep getting said.
It's can and can't believe.
I wanted to say something, but I don't know
that
enough
if you
about
don't
this
agree
band
with what's
to
mainstream,
make
you're
an whole
automatically
opinion, and
racist, white
be a
if you're like,
if you hold an opinion that is racist, it makes you a racist.
He is not holding any racist opinions.
No, I'm not. We're not talking about Milo anymore.
I'm sorry. That's not specifically what I was talking about. I mean, people. Okay, say people who hold. Okay, the only time in the Christian Bible it says anything about gay people is in the Old Testament. And the Old Testament is the Hebrew Bible. So say Jews were like, you know what, we hate gays, or that would be wrong.
Yeah,
to say you hate them. To say you don't agree with them, that's fine.
And I mean, this should, and that should
say
prove,
you don't agree with people.
and that should prove, like, those are small things that are technically there that people could take out of context if they wanted to, but they don't. They choose to disregard that part because it goes against their moral compass, and that is kind of what people say would do about Milo. Except the difference is Milo is joking. People, like, when people hear the stuff he says, if someone listened to everything Milo said, they would do the same thing. They would, if any sane person would do the exact same thing that a lot of people do with, like a Jewish person might do with the Old Testament, is the part about gay people they would probably disregard that, disregard that, because it's a small part of what is not of what the person is saying, and is not the big picture. Milo's point is not to go out and harm people. It's to basically disprove people and to try to basically just to halt the idea of political correctness and stuff like that. It's not about hurting people, and the fact that is a small part. He didn't even say that, so assuming that's what he said, which it isn't, that would still just be a small part. Okay. And otherwise, just cause. Which is
okay. I feel like this discussion is.
I just need you to
a couple
hold
points
this.
ago. It's
I
been
can't, dude.
like going.
I don't have any room.
absolutely
I'm in the middle
nowhere.
of something.
Can you at least
you're completely
I'm in the middle of something, dude.
free to feel what you have.
I'm not sure where your opinion on the rights comes from. Why do you think we have rights? Where does that come from?
I personally believe
Like the right to free speech. Where does that privilege come from?
it comes
The Constitution.
Why was the Constitution written in order to allow people to free speech?
because
Also,
people believe it's an inherent right.
Exactly. In our Declaration of Independence, we hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, namely life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness.
So are you for censorship? Well, so then I can't even hold real conversations. I just disagree. But that's fair. I believe that it is your right to hold that opinion. I agree with it. I think it's wrong, but it's your right. And the fact that you don't think that it's my right to disagree with you is just, I don't know, it's almost rude.
I don't think there's any evidence that he's said anything.
You personally are rude. I'm not.
He's never said anything like, you should go out and attack this group. When has Milo ever said that?
He's normalized the culture of hurting other people.
That's too vague of that's a buzz phrase, man. That's an
buzz phrase?
unsubstantive buzz phrase you just said.
You know it's a fucking buzz phrase? Alt-right. That's a buzz.
I agree, and it's utterly meaningless. Who's alt-right?
I'm just gonna keep static here and argue about this until the sun goes down.
No, I'm gonna leave at some point.
Who is alt-right anyway? Like that's another meaningless buzz phrase. You're right. It is a meaningless buzz phrase.
well,
Everybody's alt-right apparently.
I think of it as like, imagine like the YouTube comment section and some sections of 4chan and some sections
And
of Reddit.
vote.co. That site's pretty bad.
And all of those guys.
I said, are you going to be like marching and stuff tonight? Just if you do, be careful. I didn't say that.
It's
People
like
are being assholes.
all of these.
Because there are.
It's like the very
I feel
bottom
like
end
everyone
of the
has
internet
this.
just suddenly got a trendy new name and is trying to promote their image. It's like, hey, we're not so bad.
Yeah.
I just wish everyone could have like a little bit more respect.
Respect for these rights that we've yet to find where they come from.
I guess I don't know how to.
Define, are you talking about Bill of Rights? Or?
No,
I'm asking you where the rights in the Constitution come from.
They just came from people deciding that was a good idea.
And they come from.
Why is that inherently right?
People being able to, because I could just as easily say that I don't like your speech, so you should either be banned or thrown in jail, and that would suck. I wouldn't want that.
Well,
I would not want to live in a society like that where speech gets you.
We are going to disagree with each other, and that disagreement is kind of what has shaped our history and what has. And we will continue to shape our country for the next 4 to 8 years. Thing is, look, I think. Whatever his face, the guy with the horrible hair and the douchey sunglasses and you don't see the sunglasses, they make him look like a total. You get the point.
Yeah, he looks like an idiot. I agree.
I don't like him. I look at his views and I think they are totally abhorrent. However, as much as I don't like him, and as much as I really wish that he wasn't here, and I think he must have a lot of courage to come to this campus, this blue than the sea campus, in a city equally as blue, in a state that's also very blue, and promote his opinions. However,
I could tell you why I was against
as much as I don't like that, I kind of have to admit,
they have no specifics.
I mean, let me put it to you this.
has that,
Let me put it to you this way. I mean, we could just as easily say that if we let communists talk on campus, it could eventually lead to another Iron Curtain or Gulag. So we should stop you communists from talking on campus.
Look at what's happened
See,
to
I could use that same argument, dude.
Let's see what's happened to communists on this campus before.
On
this campus before. During the Cold War, all of the professors that with communist sympathies were kicked out of their profession. They were
that's happening to conservative professors too. They've been like
that happened on the campus.
The dean from DePaul, the dean at DePaul was made to resign because they kept giving him shit because he didn't kowtow enough to the he agreed with the protesters at DePaul, but he didn't agree enough or in the right way, so they just kept hounding him until he resigned. He wasn't even a conservative.
So
you know what I'm saying? Like,
why is it okay to kick communists off campus?
It's not. I am a free speech absolutist.
But it happened.
That doesn't mean it's okay.
So we should do the same thing that conservatives now. I disagree with either group.
Milo. I don't think conservatives are Milo.
He doesn't work here. He isn't being sponsored by the university. He's being sponsored by students.
But he's being allowed onto the university.
It's a public university. Anyone can. That's where you get people like standing out there against abortion all the time. It's not a private university. It's not private grounds. But to go to your whole thing about why we should have free speech, we were founded to have freedom of religion, and without freedom of speech, you can't have freedom of speech. This is a mostly Christian nation.
I don't think those are.
They kind of do, though.
They're both in the First Amendment.
You could argue that if we didn't have freedom of speech, that anything other than being a Christian would just you couldn't.
I'm not saying we shouldn't have any freedom of speech. I'm asking you where that freedom comes from. And you've only responded that it's from tradition.
From the Constitution.
What you're trying to...
That's what tradition comes from, the Constitution, and it comes from the Enlightenment. It comes from the thinking of guys like Locke,
classic liberalism,
liberal arts, and whatnot.
But why is that inherently true? Why do you guys believe that we have freedom of speech?
It's preferable. It's preferable than being either thrown in jail for your beliefs or fired for your beliefs. I think that would just be wrong.
Or being shot. That's right.
Or fighting for your people for your beliefs.
That's the thing that happens in this country. That's the thing that's protected under law in this country is firing people for their beliefs.
Yeah, well, if I were an employer, I wouldn't do that unless it was like too extreme. Unless it was like interfering with the job somehow, you know.
But can't any?
That's all I could say, really. What's that?
Say I had a. This was during the 2008 election. If I had a McCain bumper sticker, Obama bumper sticker on my car, and the owner knew